Welcome to Captioning Tips for Faculty, provided by Online at UCF and Student Disability Services. In this tutorial, suggestions will be offered to make your web courses at UCF more accessible for everyone with a focus on captioning. You may manage your viewing by using the controls at the bottom. On the Student Disability Services website, strategies are offered for various accommodation needs, including online learning. This tutorial will focus on enhancing the accessibility of coursework offered online, particularly for students who are deaf, hard of hearing, or have difficulties with spoken language. This would include participants whose first language is not English. It is also a best practice to avoid dependence on audio for online instruction, since audio files may not always perform as expected. SDS and Online at UCF combine their efforts to deliver best quality captioning services for web courses at UCF. However, the most important team player is the faculty member making the request. Faculty best practices for online events that need captioning include: have an outline, or preferably a fully developed script. Be familiar with and use acceptable forms of recording software. Keep appointments firm when using live transcriptionist services. And have at least a 2-week preparation window before the event for timely delivery of captioning services. Let's look at a scenario to review these tips. Dr. Ima Knight will teach a mixed mode course. It is 2 weeks before the semester. Today she received a confidential accommodation letter from SDS, noting that there will be at least one student in her course who has a hearing disability. She also knows it is not unusual in her course to have international students whose first language is not English. Dr. Knight has taught this course many times, and she feels confident about her posted content being accessible. Through the assistance of the UCF library, she has selected videos that are already captioned. However, this semester she would like to invite some guest speakers, but they are not local, so she is considering using Adobe Connect. She would like to have these events live and online, but recorded for later. So she will need to make arrangements for a live transcriptionist. Dr. Knight fills in the checklist for accessibility accommodation of online course material, noting her expected use of Adobe Connect. She then contacts SDS that same day, inquiring about how to have her Adobe Connect sessions captioned. SDS encouraged Dr. Knight to do the following. First, finalize her course schedule and post the dates on her web courses at UCF syllabus. If any changes should occur, Dr. Knight needs to notify SDS immediately. Number 2, share the Adobe Connect logon information for the transcriptionist to have access to the account's captioning pod. 3, schedule an Adobe Connect captioning pod test with SDS before the first live event. And last, Online at UCF recommends preparing a detailed outline, or even better, a fully developed script for live online events. This can be shared with the transcriptionist beforehand, which can significantly streamline the captioning process. And here's a tip. Getting everything ready early will put your mind at ease and give the appearance of you being the technical expert to your students. On her Outlook calendar, Dr. Knight puts the proposed dates for scheduling the Adobe Connect events, completion of her scripts, and the Adobe Connect tests, as well as reminders to follow up for confirmation. As Dr. Knight updates her calendar, She remembers that there's one narrated PowerPoint presentation in her UCF web course that needs to be updated. This narrated PowerPoint serves as an introduction to her course. Dr. Knight recalls when she originally requested the captioning assistance for this presentation, it took over 2 weeks. She contacted a colleague who had recently attended the narrated presentation session in the Faculty Multimedia Workshop Series. Her colleague sent her a digital handout to review. Dr. Knight was relieved to learn there were a number of recommended alternatives and strategies that could ease and shorten the captioning process. Here are some suggestions Dr. Knight learned from the handout. First, create a script and record the narrated PowerPoint. Export the narrated PowerPoint as a movie or WMV file. Then submit both the movie and script files to CDL to process the captioning. Another option, create a script and record using Camtasia Studio and self-caption. This can be done for no charge at the Office of Instructional Resources, since they have a Camtasia Studio account, or it may be purchased for a reasonable fee at the UCF Technology Product Center. Another option, create a script and record the narrated presentation. Upload the video to YouTube and then upload the script in the captioning area. Another tip, avoid using software that creates Flash or SWF files, such as Jing, iSpring, or AuthorPoint Lite, as these videos must be reshot to convert to files that can be captioned, and this will take additional time. Dr. Knight is now more confident about being prepared for this next semester. She knows what needs to be done to make her course more accessible for every student who attends in person and online. Because of her efforts early on, Dr. Knight is clear about who to contact at SDS if she has questions. She also understands it is likely she may hear from online at UCF if they find any other accessibility concerns in her course. Let's finish with a review of faculty best practices for online events that need captioning. Have an outline or preferably a fully developed script. Be familiar with and use acceptable forms of recording software. Keep appointments firm when using live transcriptionist services. Have at least a 2-week preparation window before the event for timely delivery of captioning services. Thank you for reviewing captioning tips for faculty. For additional questions, contact Student Disability Services. You are also encouraged to review the Online at UCF accessibility tips for faculty, as well as contact online support at UCF.